Welcome to the Money and Meaning Show. I'm your host, Kene Corder, National Certified Counselor and the world's #1 clinical financial hypnotherapist. Each week, I'll share with you the research I'm uncovering as I chronicle the search for meaning over money. My interviews, tips, and resources will help you determine what you need to get the most out of your practice and your life. Because life is about more than money. It's about meaning. So let's get into today's show. Hey there, my prosperity pros. I do not think you're ready for this episode. I don't think you're ready for this episode. Okay, that's not the way the song goes, but I'm just saying, I don't think you're ready for what I'm about to say right now. I am about to get a side of me that you have not seen. I'm going to be indignant, unapologetically stern. I want answers. And I need you to help me get them. But I also am talking to a specific person when I say I want answers. And I'm talking to another person when I say, I need you to demand what I'm asking for you. So I'm going to do the asking, and then I need you to back me the freak up. Okay. I just don't know if there are kids listening, so I want to keep this a family show, but back me the freak up, because it's time for us to address the fact that this self-development industry has become, what comes out of my head is watered down, but it's even more than that. It's more than watered down. It's almost like it's filled with snake oil salesmen, and the real people who are doing really good work can't even get their voice out because they're not as loud. Because the loudest person in the room, I have this saying, the loudest person in the room really has no power. And that's how I feel in this self-development industry. It's like it's business and self-development. And Presidential Lifestyle is a business and self-development company. We really hit on two different industries, but both of those industries are starting to overlap. Because you need, as we talk about here, you can't run a business if your life is in shambles. And if you have this great life, but your business is just not working, it's just not going to be fulfilling. You're going to want more. You're going to want money and meaning in your life. And so that's like our, core value. That's what we help people reach that. But what I've noticed is that there are so many people selling snake oil right now. Right now, you hear so many people say that you got to get out of one-on-one. You got to get out of one-on-one. And it's just not true. The real transformation happens in one-on-one. But I find that the biggest transformations happen when you combine on-demand courses, group conversations, and private conversations. That is where I see the biggest transformation. And lately, where I've been seeing some really big transformations is when we do an intensive, you get a bunch, 16 hours of concentrated private conversations or hypnotherapy dedicated to you. And real change is happening. But not everybody knows about it. Why? Because our marketing is not telling you what you want to hear. It's not using your programming against you, because I just won't do that. I just won't do it. My ethics, my values, my standards, my love for you won't let me use your programming against you. Who would I be if I programmed you to work with me? Ooh, I like that. Who would I be if I programmed you to work with me? Because that is what's happening out in the world. And that is what I want to talk about today. I want to talk to first those people who are doing it. And let me tell you why. The reason why this is my plea to you out there, go to another industry, do something where you're not harming people. Sell tires. I don't know why I just chose tires, but I'm just saying, sell something else. Don't sell life transformation if you're not going to give it. Don't sell business growth if you're not going to give it. If the only way that you are making money is by selling courses about making money, you are only making money because people want money, because you are going off of their pain. So you haven't really taught or learned anything yourself, except for that people are vulnerable and they will click buy if they are hurting, and you sell them on the fact that what you're going to give them is going to make the pain go away forever and ever and always. But that's not what's happening. And so this is why I'm giving the plea to the snake oil salesman first. Now, if I said snake oil salesman and you got like all, defensive, I guess, then that's you. I'm talking to you. If I said snake oil salesman and you're like, yes, talk to them, tell them, then I'm not talking to you. I'm talking for you. And I'm going to talk to you in a second though, because I need you to back me up. I can't do this by myself. All right. And I don't know. I'm going to tell you right now, I do not know exactly what I'm doing. In fact, I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth during this episode, but I'm pissed and I'm tired. I am so tired. I am just tired of it and I can't take it anymore. So I have to say something. Now there's some real people out there. In fact, I attract mission driven CEOs and, self-development people and business coaches. I attract them into my life and I have a whole database or whatever of them. And some of them are in my phone. Some of the bigger, real serious, these are the people who are doing the thing. But to be honest with you, some of the snake oil salesmen are in my phone too, unfortunately. Yeah, I've been sold snake oil. I have bought snake oil, which is part of the reason why I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you even got me? Oh, no, this ain't gonna happen. Somebody's got to do something about this. So I'm just saying, I attract mission-driven CEOs who want to make a difference in the world. Like they have a purpose, a calling, and they are using that calling to make a contribution. They want to make money, and they absolutely should, because they are doing great things in the world. And it seems like the people who are the real ones, they get judged and they get stuff like, well, why are you charging for this? You could do this for free. Yeah, they certainly could do it for free, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. Those are the people who should be getting paid for the work that they do, because they are really transforming businesses and lives. But they sometimes feel like imposters because they are the real people with hearts to serve, not about greed and taking, but because the takers have made this industry look a certain way, or because the takers seem to get people to click the button faster. The real people are like, wow, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Who am I? Maybe this isn't right for people. Maybe I should do something else. They are questioning themselves. How crazy is that? How crazy is it that the real thinks they're fake and the fakes think they are real? I almost feel like, dang, that was like a mic drop right there, right? And that just hit me. I had not thought about that. That is not in the notes that I have that I want to talk about. But the reals think they are the fake ones, and the fake ones think they are real. Now, deep down inside, the fake ones know that they are not real, but they have no problem making you believe that they are. And they have told themselves the story so much that they now believe it too. They have programmed themselves to believe that their program works, even though they know that, first of all, only 5% of people complete courses that they buy. 5%. No, I'm not saying 5% don't complete the course. I'm saying only 5%. That is the number. That is what the industry has calculated. That people will buy courses and never even take them. And then some people will take them, but never even finish them. And so the people who get to the end, that's like 5%. And let me tell you why I think that is. Because the programs aren't doing anything. And you want to know why? Because a course is not going to change your life. It may give you a step towards change, a shift, but lasting change, you're not going to get that from a course. Now, I have courses, but I don't suggest that you do the course alone. I think that is the seed. Allow the course to plant a seed in you for the group and the one-on-one to water and harvest. That's how I look at it. In our program, the seed is the courses or the stuff like the pop-up hypnotherapy that I do or your assessment. That stuff is seed. And then like if you get in the group, that's when we go a little deeper. And then if you add one-on-one to that, that's what we harvested. That's what we pluck that stuff out of there. Now we're doing hypnotherapy along the way. I do free hypnotherapy. I do group hypnotherapy, and I do private, one-on-one hypnotherapy, because it is important to me to make sure that along the way you are getting what you need. And what you pay for is levels of access to me and my team. But you're always going to get some level of hypnotherapy from me. I don't like when I watch a video and then somebody tells me a bunch of what, right? They're like, this is what you need. And this is what you need. And you need this and you need that and you need that. And I'll tell you what I did. I did this, but they never actually tell you how. Well, if you want to know, you got to buy something. Buy this, buy it now. And then it's like, I buy it, but you still don't tell me anything. And then it's like, oh, if you really want to know, you got to buy this next thing. I think I told you guys this a couple of episodes back. I went to a conference, a virtual conference, 3 days, where all they did was sell to me all 3 days. Now it wasn't free. Yeah, it wasn't free. Yeah, you know who you are. It wasn't free. I paid for it, and I paid handsomely for it. And at the end, let me tell you what they did. So first did a free challenge, and everything that they taught you in the free challenge was what they talked about during those 3 days. And then sprinkled in sell, 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 sell. And the stuff was so elementary. And how they were charging $2,000 for this was saying that they were going to, deliver on some transformation for your business. And I don't teach marketing. I learned marketing. So I'm always up for, and this particular event was more about marketing yourself as a speaker, not as a coach. There's a lot of those things out there, and that wasn't what I took. So marketing yourself as a speaker. And I just was like so disappointed to the point where I asked for my money back. And they originally told me no. And I was like, that's not an option. That's unacceptable. I want my money back. And I won't stop until I get it. So who do I need to talk to? What needs to happen? Who's the next person? Get me out of these email chain and get somebody on the phone. You promised me an intimate event. And they were like, I think it were like 1,000 people at this event, with several hundred, even though they said it was an intimate event. 1,000 is not intimate at all. I push and I push until I got my money back. Now, there was one thing that I participated in that they said, well, we can't give you the money back for this because you participated in that. And I was like, I totally get it. So they took that part off, but they gave me a good portion of my money back because I did not stop. Because you will not take advantage of me and I sit down and think it's something wrong with me. No, that is not the way this is going to go. You are going to apologize for not showing up. You're going to apologize. You're going to look in the mirror and you're going to see yourself and see that you are teaching what I could learn on YouTube, or you are teaching what I probably already know. Take yourself to the next level. Why don't you take some courses? That's how I feel. Like, why don't you get out there and get some of the real self-development? Because there is some real self-development out there, and you might need to experience it if you are selling this snake oil. And that's what I'm just going to call it for now, for lack of a better way to explain it. But you guys know what I'm saying. It's not real. It's not changing any lives. And that's why I love that I attract these mission driven CEOs, the ones who are real, who, even if they don't have self-development companies, they have a company that is on a mission to make a lasting impact in this world. And those are the people that I serve and I help them serve, but who I am so disappointed in today and talking to today is the one who doesn't know that we need to protect this industry. We have to protect this industry. So I'm asking you to leave, because my mission driven CEOs can't even make money because you are in the way, taking more than your fair share, taking without giving the transformation you promised. And then my CEOs feel confused when they see others like you who don't even have a good product to share. And those people are shining and faking, and they're hurting once they sit down and can't sleep at night because they're doing, I should say, you are hurting. Yeah, because I'm talking to you. So I've been having this conversation in my head and with Jason for a while now, because I also went to, or I connected, what am I trying to say? I got into something else this year at the beginning of the year that really wasn't what it promised to be. And this person kind of, talked about all the people they worked with and all the things that they've done. But the group part of it was, and they had that same thing, the course, the group, and the one-on-one, but I wasn't their target market. And so, I talked to the person, talked to the person to see what it was that they were offering. And they sold it like it was right for me. And then when I got in, I was like, this is not right for me. These people are not on my level. Like, we're on a different level. I'm not a startup. And so there needs to be more. I tell you something, if you are out there and you're real and you're trying to figure out who to talk to the middle CEO, the middle entrepreneur, not the startup and not the one who has a, $20 million company, but the one that is like 250 to $1 million, maybe. That 250 to $1 million is a sweet spot that is missing. And those people are longing and looking for something. And it may be as much as, 2 million or 3 million, but they definitely have some success. And so that's why I say maybe like 250 in that range, because what I see with me and my friends who are looking to get to our next level, there's nothing out there. There's just nothing out there. And if you are making like $50,000 in your business, you probably still have some honing to do. And if you're not making any money yet, you shouldn't be in the same group with somebody who's making 250 or $1 million. You should not be in that same group. And that's what happened. So I was in the same group, but I stopped coming to the group because I was like, people were saying things like their wins were that, well, I made it here today. I'm like, what? Like, that's your win, that you actually kept your word to yourself? Come on now, people. Like, that's not a win. You don't get to claim keeping your word to yourself as a win, not on this level. And that's when I realized, oh, I'm not on my level. I'm on another level where that is a win. And so that disappointed me. And so I stopped going to the group. And then even in the one-on-one, it felt like it was more about what that person wanted for me and less about what I wanted for my business. And it kept being about that. And I really never got what I set out to get out of it. And that hurt. And that's why I'm like, all right, somebody's got to say something. And this person is respected and very good at what she does. I was just not her target market. And she sold me really hard like I was. And so what I want to do for you is not you, the snake oil salesman. No, not you, but you, the buyer. Uh-huh. Yes. I want to give you the buyer beware. Like, this is what is happening. Look for this. Cool. So you snake oil salesman out there, that's all I have to say to you. And the rest of this is to help my buyers out there understand who's real, but also understand who's fake. Cause I think that's important too. You really need to know who's fake so that you can sift through and separate it. Cause I have some people that I know who are real, who are really doing the thing. But over the last 3 or 4 years, I've noticed that it is not the majority. The majority is not doing the right thing. Okay. So here we go. I want you to first think about this. Here's some things that I want you to think about that will help you know whether this course or this program is right for you. And this sounds silly, but they doing what they are coaching you on, or are they doing something else, right? So let's say, for example, they're coaching you on how to flip houses, let's just say, but they aren't actually flip houses. They might have flipped a house, one house or two houses or whatever, but they are now teaching how to flip houses, or I think the one that I see most commonly is like teaching on social media or some sort of marketing. So they're basically teaching you how to make money on Amazon, but they're not actually making money on Amazon. They're just teaching you how to make money on Amazon. And that's how they make money, is teaching you how to make money. But they're not even doing that thing that they teach on. Okay. So that's one. Look at that and go deeper there. If they are only selling a course, don't buy it. It's not going to be worth its money. You're not going to get enough out of it. And human behavior is not to finish courses. So you're going to feel down when you don't go through the whole course, not knowing that it's not you, it's them.
Gandhi said, your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your values become your destiny. So in essence, your beliefs eventually become your destiny. So in order to take control of your destiny, you have to first take control of your beliefs. But here's the thing. Most of us are controlled by our societal programming. Now, you may be asking yourself, or me, what's societal programming? Societal programming is all the messages you've heard over and over and over again, like money doesn't grow on trees, or like it's better to give than to receive. Those statements, repeated, eventually became your beliefs. But you can overcome it. And that's why I created my Path to Prosperity workshop. Register today. It is the best 2 hours you will invest in your business and your life. I'll show you what societal programming is, help you gain clarity on your specific programming, and I'll give you a sample hypnotherapy session at the end so you can start breaking through your societal program immediately. Take control of your destiny. Register now. The link is in the show notes so you can get on the path to prosperity. I'll see you there.
The course didn't do anything to keep you engaged. And even if it did, it's human nature to just not complete courses. They're just not engaging enough. They're not doing enough. They don't fit our natural way of learning. So if they are not doing what they are coaching you on, if they are only selling you a course, if they are full of seed droppings, if they're just giving you seedlings, just here's a seed, here's a seed, here's a seed, here's a seed. They keep on dropping you with all these seeds, baiting you in and baiting you in. I guarantee you the ones who are, ready to serve, they give out too much. You end up getting you feel like, what? I got all of this for free. Those are the ones. If you're watching a video, a sponsored ad on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or any of those things, And they are not, they're just curiosity, using curiosity against you. Click away. Click away. It's not for you. It's BS. And they're trying to use your belief system against you. Your BS. So if they're seed droppers are snake oil salesmen. So one more thing that I want to say in that area is that information is free. Education costs. Access costs. That's where they start putting in like the real money. So if they're just giving you information, they should be giving you that for free. If they're telling you how to use that information, which is education, then that costs. So that's why I say they should give it all for free. I typically give a lot for free. I'll tell you all the things you need to know, but you might not know exactly in every situation how to apply it. And that's why our group mastermind works so well, because people come there and they're like, hey, look, I'm working, I'm on, maybe they're listening, let's say, to the controllable, and they're on forgiveness, and it's hard for them. They ask questions and they want to get to that. They really want it to work. So they come and they bring their questions. Or let's say they're working on the wealth. Of course, we are financial hypnotherapists here. So we do a lot of work around money. And the wealth is a question that people have when they come here, because they're like, I work so hard. Why don't I have money? I work so hard. I work harder than anybody I know. I work harder than these snake oil salesmen. And yet I'm the one who's struggling, or I just don't have enough. I don't have what I thought I would have. And, many people who come to me already have $1 million businesses and multi-million-dollar businesses often, but they know that there's more potential in them. But they also feel like, oh, wait, how did they get to 100 million and I'm still at 50 million? What is that about? And so they're looking at the snake oil salesman and comparing themselves to them. And I'm asking I'm talking to you now, you, the buyer, if you are looking at snake oil salesmen, comparing yourself to them, you got to stop, because you're not them and they are not you. So stop comparing yourself. That is a big one. Stop comparing yourself to snake oil salesmen. And I know you're probably tired of hearing me say that. I don't know what else to call them, but that's what I'm calling them. So, and remember, when I'm saying salesmen, I'm not saying that these are all men. Many of these are women. Many are men too, but I'm just saying there's men and women in here. So I'm not going to tell you that, oh, look for the women. They're probably doing the right thing, or no, not necessarily. They are also not doing the right thing. So let me just remind you what I said earlier. Information is free. Education costs. If somebody is telling you all the information you need, they should just give you that for free. If they're telling you how to implement it in certain situations, that to me is education. And it also is levels of access. So they can do that with you on a group mastermind kind of level, or they can do that with you in a one-on-one, so that you have all of the touches you need. We are a very high touch business, and I believe that transformation is high touch. That is my belief. That is what I've seen. I've done some of the research in this industry, and high touch is the way that lasting transformation happens. So if they don't do one-on-one, they are not giving you a transformation. Even Tony Robbins will do one-on-one. I mean, it's costly. You got to really you got to really invest in it, but he will do one-on-one, because he knows that there is some value in that. And even when you see him do his big events, it's 2,000 people in the room, but he always narrows in on a certain amount of people individually, and he'll go deep with them. And he might only do it for 5 minutes, but he does it. And so, yeah, you can have 2,000 people in your program and you can sell out a stadium, but you better pick, 10 or 15 or 20 of them to go deep with them, so that there is real transformation happening. or you better train other coaches so that they can do the one-on-one. I'm not saying that the CEO has to do all this work. I'm just saying you need to provide it for your people. And so if you are buying something and you don't see a one-on-one component to it, click away. And if you don't see yourself being a client for life, click away. Now, if they're teaching something very specific, like how to overcome whatever's happening with these Facebook ads or how to have better search engine optimization, it's my belief that that is not your course, that you need to be sending somebody on your team to do. Then that's part of the problem too. Now I'm talking to the buyer. Stop taking courses that aren't on your level. You are the CEO. You don't need to do that stuff. Everything that has to get done does not have to get done by you. So somebody on your team, your marketing person should be taking these marketing courses. That really is how they should come to the table or if you're going to pay for some of these marketing courses, that might be part of your value proposition to them and how you hire. Because hiring these days so I say that most of the CEOs I know, that's the toughest, no matter what industry you're in, that's kind of the toughest place to be in. So look for healers. Healers are going to have some one-on-one, mainly because they are called to do it. This is what lights them up. And if you are a healer and you've been trying to get out of one-on-one because that's what the industry has told you and has programmed you to believe needs to happen, then I want you to consider going back to one-on-one, but just figure out how to do it. Maybe that means you need to have like a premium service. And your group is where you see more people, but your one-on-one might be your premium service because that's a high level of access. And you can only take so many of those each week or month or year, depending upon how your program is designed. That could be a really limited number, like with our private retreats. That's a limited number until we have assistant hypnotherapists doing one-on-one weekly, but not doing our retreats just yet. But that's what's going to happen next. That's next level. But so you can hire people and train them to do that work, but one-on-one needs to be a component. So at the same time where I'm calling you the buyer, I'm also knowing that there's something inside of you that you want to teach, but you haven't figured out how to do it. And also I know that you don't want to feel icky. Like there's a lot of people out there saying, I don't want it to feel salesy. What they really are saying is, I don't want to feel like I've conned somebody. But I'm going to tell you, one of the first episodes I'm going to do when we come back from hiatus is how to not feel salesy. It is actually, people have talked about it and it's not hard as people make it seem, how to not feel salesy. And I think what happens is a lot of people are like, well, if you don't feel salesy, that means you're scared of sales and you're scared of people and all of that. And I don't think that's what it is. I'll tell you what it is because I've already digressed too much. So I'm going to get back on our topic today and see if I can recap for you a little bit. I was just saying that you are going to choose or say no to a course or a coach because are they doing what they say that they're selling? Are they actually doing it? Is it course only? Is it seed dropping? Are they just giving you a bunch of information that you really shouldn't be paying for? Nobody should be getting paid for seed dropping. And remember, information is free, education costs. So remember this when you're designing your work, and your expertise and your access is what they are paying for. So also stop comparing yourself to the fakes. You are real. So don't compare yourself to the fakes. And if they don't have a one-on-one component to their program, then don't get in it. I started saying, if you don't see yourself as a client for life, right? There are some people who everything they sell, you will buy. One of my favorite people, and she is so real, is Dr. Shafali. Now, Dr. Shafali does not know me. I don't have any affiliate program with her, but she is real. And for years, I've seen her. She started talking about conscious parenting. That's how I got to her, because she and I had that in common. That was when I was working with teenagers. And then she started doing a lot more women's work. And I don't go to those kinds of things anymore. I think I did when I was a kid. I've been in this industry a really, really long time, but I stay up with her because she is real. She is the real deal. And she's part of my litmus test. Like all the things that I'm saying, she has. I don't, like I said, know her intimately, but from what I can see, she's one of the real deal. So I wanted to give you an example of somebody who is doing the transformational work. And these healers who don't, in part of this recap, I should say also, the healers that don't want to do one-on-one anymore because the industry told you to just go for the money. I know you don't feel good about that. I know you don't. So deny and believe in yourself. Trust yourself. You just got to figure out how to create the program that's right for you. And that's something else that I'm going to talk about when we come back, is really figuring out what's right for you. That is big. When it comes to the search for meaning over money, it has to be right for you. Because what I want to add, and I'm going to wrap this up in just a second, is many people are teaching you a system. And they can't teach you anything outside of that. They're like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. And now you can sell. And if they are doing that, then you can't always apply your program to their system. But you've already bought it, right? You already engaged them as your coach. And they can't get off of, they can't sway. This is what happened to me. They couldn't get out of their cookie cutter, like this is the way you do it. It's like, but that doesn't work for me. And had I known that, I wouldn't have bought in. If I'd known that it was like, no, you need to take my system and you need to do that with your people, I wouldn't have bought in. But I didn't understand it that way. Maybe it was sold that way, but I did not understand it that way. So I thought that I could still have the business I wanted to have. And I eventually got to where I needed to go. And believe it or not, I got there by just tapping into other healers that I know, real, like these people who are really doing this work and who want to see the transformation in the world. And I found that for me, what I need most is access and exposure. Access and exposure. The more I can get my name out there, the more I can serve. And I don't need help designing my program. My program has been designed for years, and I don't need help even designing my message. And I thought I did. But what I found is that when I try to get in a box and follow step by step how to describe this process, it doesn't work, because hypnotherapy is less about the words, and people just sometimes have to experience it, which is why we do the Path to Prosperity pop-up hypnotherapy, because just experience it, just come. And I am not afraid if I give you something for free that you're not going to come back. Sure, some of you are not going to come back. You'll just be like, oh, okay, thanks. That's all I needed. Just wanted to test that out. But many people will come back, and that's just the way it is. And I'm okay with that. Come back or not come back. Come back to the free thing every single week. Oh, I don't do it weekly, but every single time I do it, just keep coming back to the free thing. I'm okay with that. Now, you're probably going to eventually want to take it to the next level, because the free thing is only so much. And then you're going to be like, I need more. And so you're going to take the next step. I don't care if you come to the free thing all the time. Some people don't like that. They're like, oh, this person only comes to the free stuff. That's okay. Don't you want people there? Yeah, of course you do. I do. So I was saying, many of the people out there who are just takers, they are just selling a system that may not work in your program. So you got to get really clear on, are they selling you like laws, like universal laws to help you fit your program into these laws? Or are they selling you a system that if it's kind of cookie cutter, and if you don't fit every single step, then it doesn't work for your business? And is it gimmicky? Is it like trendy? That's another probably better way to say it. Is it just trendy? Because the people who I talk to, if you're listening, you're likely a mission driven CEO. You have a calling. You have a purpose. You want to change lives. You don't need a gimmick. You don't need to sell the next big fad unless you truly believe that the next big fad is going to stay. Like, I guess, the internet was a fad. Social media was considered a fad, but it's here. It's staying. Email considered a fad. So if you think this next big thing is the real thing, then push it. But if you know it's a gimmick, don't just go at it for money. And sure, I know you need money, but I guarantee you, if you pour yourself into your real message, then you are going to see so much success, wealth, and abundance in your life. But the biggest problem with the real healers is that you don't trust yourself. And so deep down inside, when you know you're doing the right thing, because the fakes are so good, they even fool you and me that you start to question yourself. But I didn't question myself. I stood my ground, and it didn't go over very well. This person got defensive, and it is what it is. We are still cool. Like, we're still cool. I take full responsibility. And that's the last point that I want to make. If you've done this in the past, if you clicked by and it wasn't for you, you don't have to go on a rampage outing anybody and creating negative energy. If what I've done today has been creating negative energy, then please call me on it. What I have attempted to do today is plant some seeds in the snake oil salesman's head while they're always planting seeds in other people's heads. For me today is to say, hey, check yourself. Like, stop doing this. It's not right. And if you want to do it somewhere else. Like, don't hurt people, because the more people hurt, the more distrust, and the more they're not going to trust the trustworthy people, because the trustworthy people don't know how to con them, don't know how to sell to them. The trustworthy people just say, hey, I got this thing. It's really cool. You might like it. I think it'll help you. Want to try it? And then you're like, well, is it going to change my entire life and make my, tummy flatter and my husband like me more and my wife have sex with me more? Is it going to give me more money in my bank account and make all my problems go away and make my children listen to me? Oh yeah, I want that. But if you're like, it could do that, or we could start with just looking inside of you and seeing, let's get to know you. Then you're like, nah, I'm all right. I don't want to do that. Because if the person doesn't know that they need to sell you, they need to oversell you, pretend that something is going to happen that's not going to happen, and then you get in and you're disappointed, the healers aren't doing that. So if you feel oversold, if you feel icky and anxiety while you're trying to figure out, is this the thing for me? Should I buy this? Should I get this? If you feel that, click away. Click away. Thank you. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. I feel like there's some more inside of me, but I just want to give you what was top of mind right now, because I think it's important. If you're fake and you're listening, I think it's important that you be called out and that you feel some remorse, some guilt, because my CEOs are feeling guilty. They're feeling greedy, and they're not. They're feeling burnout because they have to overwork, because they are not selling fake transformation. They're selling real transformation, and they don't really know how to do that. But the reapers, what I call reapers, and I'm going to tell you more about that. The reapers are the people who can just anything they touch turns to gold, even if it's not a good product. I'll tell you more about all four, what we call the prosperity birthrights. You might have heard me talk about it before. I talk about it in the Path to Prosperity pop-up hypnotherapy a little bit. So yeah. So don't feel bad. Imposter syndrome is real, but my buyers, beware, because it's not you. It's them. Keep your heart in the right place. You don't have to become like them. You don't have to give up your morals and your standards. You can stick to them. Your convictions are important. And you can reach the people who you know you can help. So remember, we're going on hiatus for like a month, but we will be back in full swing, ready to pour into you with everything we've learned. I mean, everything. When we come back, we're just going to go ahead and call that season 5 because this is like a wrap up of season 4. Thank you for joining us for season 4. It was interesting. It was interesting in so many ways. So season 5 starts August. I think it's August 4th, but it will start August 4th. So season 5 starts August 4th. Yeah. So make sure you come back. Make sure you subscribe, because if you subscribe, then you'll get a notification when we're back. And when I say subscribe, I mean subscribe here on wherever you listen in this podcast. But also, you should just go to our website. You can either, like we've talked about, the Path to Prosperity pop-up hypnotherapy. You know, we have the Breakthrough to Clarity assessment. Those are 2 ways. If you think you are right for our program, then I would say both of those are free. So those are ways to connect with us. And it also will allow you to subscribe to us, to our podcast, our newsletter, because every week I send out the podcast to everybody. So you won't even have to remember to go looking for it, because you'll get our newsletter every week and I'll remind you, hey, we're back. All right, cool. So that's all for now. In the meantime, while I'm gone, I want you to just start thinking about what transformation you're looking for in your life, but also what are you looking to contribute to the world? What is your legacy? How do you want to show up in the world? That is my question to you. Be thinking about that, because when we come back, we're going to help you answer how to get there. Because there are 2 questions. How do I want to show up in the world? And then the second question is, what would it take? And I want you to think about what would it take yet, though. Just get really clear. Identify how you want to show up in the world. We call that your intention. So what is your intention? How do you want to show up in the world? How do you want to be described? Especially when you leave this world. All right, my Prosperos, that's all for now. Thank you kindly. Thank you muchly for staying all the way to the end. You are my favorite Prosperity Pro, and I love you. And I'll see you sooner. Promise you'll come back? All right, yay, I promise. I'll be right back for you. I'm here for you. You want answers, but what if you're not even asking the right question? That's why I created my Breakthrough to Clarity assessment. This assessment will ask you the right questions so you can finally determine what it would take for you to feel successful. At the end of the assessment, you'll determine if there's something blocking you from feeling the success of your business and your life. If there's a fast way to break through your blocks and get on the path to true success. You'll even learn if you might be suffering from what's commonly known as imposter syndrome, or if what you're suffering from is really burnout. So get the answers you're looking for. Click the link in the show notes, complete the short form, click submit, then continue the assessment on the next page. My team and I will analyze the data and you'll get immediate feedback. Then, with your permission, we will contact you and give you more details if you want to take this further and clear those blocks that you discover. You're on your way and I'm here with you. So take the Breakthrough to Clarity assessment and let's get you on the path to prosperity and clarity.
Thanks for listening all the way to the end, my Prosperity Pro. I want to stay connected with you. Here are 4 ways. Pick the one that works best for you if you want to stay connected with me. 1, If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Send them to podcast@presidentiallifestyle.com. I'd love it if you would make a 1 or 2 minute audio message and attach it to an email. That'd be the easiest way for me to get it. Ask me anything about creating a life of meaning over money, and I'll get you an answer. Remember, the email address is podcast@presidentiallifestyle.com. 2, subscribe to this podcast and share it with your friends, because you guys might want to have a discussion about it, especially if they're a CEO who wants to shift from the old American dream to a life of meaning. 3, we try not to have any sponsors on this show unless they are truly in line with our values. I mean, really a good fit. So that means we fund this podcast ourselves. I'd like you to take a look at our resource page to see if there's any products or services that we recommend that are right for you. If not, no worries, maybe later. If so, please use our affiliate link to purchase. Thank you in advance for doing that. You are such an amazing person. Okay, 4 and last. If you want to know what's happening over here at Presidential Lifestyle and you want us to email you the update, then go to presidentiallifestyle.com/blog/now. And you'll see the current updated blog for the week, but you'll also see a link to subscribe to that blog. We can email it to you if you like. That's presidentiallifestyle.com/blog/now. Don't worry, you don't have to remember that link or any links. They're all in the show notes. Oh, and I forgot to say, if you're enjoying this podcast, go ahead and leave us a review and tell us how much you're enjoying it. And now for the legalese. This podcast is not to replace professional counsel. The best advice is from a professional who knows you and your specific situation. The topics discussed in this podcast are general in nature and for informational or entertainment purposes only. We encourage you to meet with a professional that you can discuss your specific situation with. Whether you choose us or someone else, one-on-one counsel is important, whether it's a financial, therapeutic, legal, or other decision. So that's all for now. I'll see you next episode. And remember, you can have wealth in all of its forms. Believe it, and you'll soon see it.